Wearing headphones while on the clock is unprofessional. Now help me, by user SmoothsJ40. Edit, to add I wasn't fired. Hey guys, recently found this sub, love the stories, and figured I'd contribute my encounter from earlier this year. And I will apologize now for the length and I'll post a TLDR at the bottom. Little information heading into this. I work in the auto industry, dealership parts department to be exact. This means I have a uniform, which is slacks, shoes, and a polo shirt and jacket in the automaker's colors with their name embroidered on the left chest. At the time of this incident I worked for an auto manufacturer whose logo is a big T in an oval, the internal name is the sombrero. This meant my polo shirt was black with red sides and a huge red T logo along with the dealer's name on it. So, here we go. Back in March, I'd just gotten off my late shift, the dealer I was with at the time was open till 7. On the way home I stopped at Big Mart that used to use a smiley logo, where employees wear blue vests, to get some groceries for dinner along with flowers for my dad and stuff to make a cake for my mum's birthday. A lot of significant dates happen in the first 2 weeks of March for our family. When I go shopping, I usually put in my Bluetooth earbuds as I don't want to talk to people, and it helps deter those annoying cable/internet/power salespeople that roam the aisles of this store trying to sell you their crap. My headphones at the time were a pair of Adidas Adistar by Monster. They were Bluetooth with a cord between the two and a little inline controller on the right side. This is relevant later. Now I'm in the store, it's about 7:25 p.m., and I've got my earbuds in. I'm in the baking aisle looking for caster sugar, our Mart of Walls does carry it, and I notice someone off to my right. I don't think anything of it, it's a steady evening for them, this location is always busy. I finally settle on some sugar and go to reach for it when I feel a sharp pain in my ears, followed by someone yelling at me. I turn and yell what the HL and I'm face to face with a woman maybe 40 ish, about my height, 5'10". She's dressed quite smartly, high heel boots, leggings, an expensive looking coat, shoulder length hair, earrings that look painfully heavy, yelling at me and holding my headphones. She had grabbed the controller and yanked them out as I couldn't hear her talking at me. She starts telling me off that it's very unprofessional for me to be wearing headphones while working, how dare I talk to her like that, and that she's been trying to get my attention as she needs me to fetch her something. I snap back that I don't work and demand my earbuds back. She responds that I obviously do from how I'm dressed and that I'm just lazy, then looks at my headphones in her hand with a smirk and says you won't be needing these, proceeds to throw them on the ground and start stomping on them. I'm furious and start shouting at her WTF makes her think I work here and proceed to point at the logo on my shirt and call her a moron. At this point a crowd has started to gather at either end of the aisle to see what all the commotion is. I guess an employee had heard something and called a manager or security, as someone in a white business shirt with a company lanyard around their neck comes down the aisle to break us up and see what is happening. She immediately starts going off at him about how lazy and unprofessional his employees are, and how she wants to talk to corporate. He turns to me and starts to ask why I was ignoring her and wouldn't help her, when he notices my shirt. You don't work here, do you? As he's staring at me. No, I work at, insert dealer name, up the road. I'm just here to pick up a few things and this psycho attacked me. He apologizes and asks me if she heard me, and I responded just my ears when she yanked the earbuds out and then stomped them. She starts snarling that I'm lying, I'm a POS, and I need to be fired. He turns to her, picks my headphones up and tells her that he does not approve of violence in his store and that authorities are already on their way. Police station is 1.5 miles from the store. He asks me to check my headphones to see if they work. Shocker, they don't. When she yanked the controller it must have damaged the wires, as the right one cuts in and out. I say as much. We've now been escorted to the front of the store by customer service, and sure enough 2 officers are standing by the counter. They took statements from both of us, her flailing her arms about as she gave hers. One of the officers then went with the store manager to review the cameras. The entire time we were waiting with the officer she keeps mouthing off how I'm gonna get in so much trouble when she's proven right and innocent, and that she hopes that lead me off in cuffs. The officer with us just told her to be quiet till they were done. The manager and officer come back out after a few minutes and the officer asks, would you like to press charges? She starts going, yes, please officer, I don't want someone like this out in public. His response. I was actually talking to him, while gesturing to me. I say yes I would as my ears still hurt and she broke my earbuds. She's spluttering and coughing like my little classic car on a cold morning, whining that she's the victim. They ask me if I can verify the amount the headphones cost when I bought them new, as she'll be required to reimburse me. Thank you Big Blue Electronics Store for online account purchases. In the end she had to give me the $100 the earbuds had cost me new, which went towards my new Klipsch McLaren Edition T5 earbuds, and they escorted her out of the store. They gave me the flowers for my father's gravesite and a cake for my mum's birthday as an apology. It didn't end there though. She called the dealer I work at, because their name was embroidered on my shirt, to complain about me and the trouble I caused her. They called me into the owner's office to tell me that I caused a lot of drama over nothing and it makes the dealer look bad and basically to not do it again. I wasn't fired, but that dealer was a terrible place to work. Stories for other Reddit subs I haven't yet discovered. I quit about 5 months later, and I've since changed dealerships to the Big Blue Oval. TL_DR. Go to store after work in clearly marked work uniform. Lady grabs earbuds out of my ears, yells at me and plays victim. Police show up, she's found at fault, has to pay for broken headphones. Then calls my actual employer to complain about the trouble I've caused her, and they tell me off. I'm not Jake from State Farm, by user which stream. When my husband and I first moved in together, we were renting a house that had been a State Farm insurance office. It was an old house that had been converted to an office then back to a house. The landlord also ran a used car lot and the office for it on the back porch. Numerous times I'd be in bed asleep, I was working third shift at the time, and people would just walk in wanting to talk to the insurance guy or ask about a car. It was a really small town and no one locked doors, but after 2 or 3 of these people walking in I started locking the screen door on the front porch and the front door itself. People still came in. One guy even said, "Hey, the doors are stuck," as was walking in. Then he saw me and asked about insurance. I was in my PJs watching a movie. It must have been a casual Friday, I guess. So he had forced the doors open. I've never been that greatly in need of insurance to break into a building for it, lol. I finally talked to my cousin. She had dated the insurance guy's son and I guess they finally sent out a notice to their customers of the address change. I cannot currently help you lady, by user relevant_mechanic 640. So I work at a coffee shop, and one day I was sitting in the shop working on my homework off the clock. I just needed to be not home. A regular, let's call her Kathy, came directly up to me while I was sitting down out of the way eating my food and studying, and explained that I placed an order for Kathy over the phone and I need it now. I take a minute and look around before I tell her, "I'm sorry, I'm not actually working at the moment, but I'm positive one of the workers will be more than happy to help you, provided you ask them at the counter." This was apparently not the answer Kathy was seeking. She loudly announced, as I was so rude to not help her, she wanted my name and my current shift lead's name to call the manager. When the shift lead hears what's going on, she tries to help her and explain that I am not working that day. Well as running around getting her order together, but Kathy's experience was ruined. She wants a refund and to take the drinks, and when that's not possible, she wants me to pay for emotional compensation. I politely told her no way in hell, and left. She called the store for WEEKS because an employee was rude to her and she expected me to be fired. I am a child, not an employee, by user Kitty Cat Doggy Do. My daughter is 13 and her father works for a retail establishment that requires a membership card. When in this establishment today, she was standing around waiting for her sibling to get there. The first time, this mid-30s man came up to her and proceeded to check to be able to go inside. She shook her head and said, "No, I don't work here." He then said okay and walked away. He said something about it to the woman he was with and pointed at her. She was slightly confused. She switched spots so she wouldn't get asked again. That didn't work. This 60-70s man came up to her and started to ask her questions about where to find something. She was shaking her head no and had to tell him, "No, I do not work here. I am 13. You can ask my dad, though." His eyes went wide and proceeded to walk away. It was slightly funny, but she was also slightly scared and confused, considering she doesn't think she looks that much older than at least 15. I know you don't work here fella, wholesome and polite by user Mc_Oxonfire. If you're a Karen, pay attention. I went shopping for bits for a DIY project that my dear wife has set for me. I needed screws and raw plugs, edited from raw plugs, but I have no idea what size, so I'm in the aisle looking at them, and there's no assistant nearby. I look in nearby aisles, but no luck. Then I see a guy who, based on his clothes, looks like a builder. I approach him and ask for his opinion on my quest. He looks like he's about to say he doesn't work there, when I say, "I know you don't work here, but you look like you might know," and I can't find any staff. And damn it, he helped me. I thanked him, and we both went about our own tasks. That was a wholesome thing today.